Uh, yeah, we'll start.
Okay.
So thank you for joining, everyone. First, I would like to introduce. Hope most of you know Dr. Venkatesh, and he is there in IMA and all that. I would like to introduce him. Just a small brief about him. He has got IMA National Award for the best medical student in the country, and also he holds various state and national positions in many organizations including IMA, UNESCO chair in bioethics, and International Federation of Medical Students and all. And recently he gave a attempt for INSET exam and he got his MD community medicine in IMS Patna. So I would like to invite Venkatesh to share a few more experiences about his NEET PG preparation strategy, and also his how he felt about his entrance examination and how he used Marrow effectively. And over to you, bro.
Thank you. So, am I audible now? Am I visible properly? Uh, to the participants, am I audible? Am I visible? Thank you. Thank you, Seshank. So, let's begin. Thanks for the good, nice introduction, Sukandam brother. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself again. I'm Dr. Venkatesh Karthikeyan. I'm basically from Salem, Tamil Nadu. I did my undergraduation in Velamal Medical College Hospital, Madurai, and I'm currently doing my MD Community and Family Medicine in AIMS Patna throughout. First of all, AIMS wasn't my target, to be frank. What I wished, I was pretty sure I'm going to do community medicine. What I thought was, okay, I should do well in NEET PG 2021 and then get a good rank and get into some topmost institutes in Delhi or in Mumbai. But in one of the I wasn't even confident enough to appear for INICT examination. But in one of the videos of Abbas Ali sir, I could see him mentioning that you just give an attempt in INICT. It is like nothing is going to there's nothing to lose. So just taking his words, I got the confidence. I got the enthu to write the INICT examination, and I landed up here. So I'm thankful to Abbas Ali sir also. First of all, as I said, AIMS wasn't my target, and this is just God's gift to me. I'm I know community medicine is the perfect fit for me because it I've seen many of my professors, their lifestyle, the things they achieve, their ability to make difference on a large scale, their ability to treat a population than a single patient. All these like inspired me to get into community medicine. I'm going to share with you the past 8 months journey which I underwent in order to get this seat. So let's have a few briefing for next 15 to 20 minutes. I'll just give a short presentation, following which I'll take the question and answer session. Is that okay? Is it okay? Please respond.
Sure,
Yes,
sir.
thank you, Sashank, once again. So first, it is of utmost importance to have a growth mindset. You should not think that okay, this is my level. I'm capable of this much only, and I can't do anything more. So we should abolish such a mindset, and we should have a growth mindset. And we should start. We should not start seeing exam date as the end point in life. That is life beyond exam. And once you have this mindset, you will be able to overcome the stress, and with this you will be able to enhance your performance to a greater extent. Once you start to realize that exam is just another date, of course it's an important date, but it is yet another day in your life. So when you have this mindset, it would be much easier and convenient for you to focus on your preparation. I always used it. I always used to tell to my friends and to my juniors that every one of us have achieved in our life by getting into MBBS seat. I would like to compare MBBS students as gold coins in a treasure box. Be the topmost coin or the bottommost coins, every single coin is a gold coin. Similarly, every single medical student is a what to say is an achiever in life. So having this mindset is extremely important because even if you are stopping with your MBBS, it doesn't mean that you're fit for nothing. Getting into MBBS, clearing those hundreds of exams, internals, university exams, everything is such a huge task. And since everyone around us is doing it, we don't value ourselves. There's not something called mediocrity in medicine. Everyone is a symbol of excellence. So we should have this mindset, and this will help us to focus on our preparation with great confidence. So I started my preparation in March end, and I continued my preparation till mid-Jan. Actually, during my second and third year, I have been attending few foundation classes offline, and it was also very helpful in orienting myself towards PG preparation. I used to study from March in. I used to study 5 hours a day, and I worked hard to increase the number of studying hours from 5 hours to gradually 8, 9, 10, and finally 14 to 15 hours per day. I was able to study before examinations. I used to study every single day. So every single day from March end till mid of Jan, I studied, and I think it is of utmost importance to be consistent in your preparation rather than studying 20 hours a day and not studying the next day. It is better to study 10 hours every day. And I used to keep a very close track of my time. And for it, I used many apps like UrHeart, Google Keep, Google Calendar, Keep Track, and all these apps were of extremely useful to me in order to keep a track. And this is very important because we are going to be in isolation during our PG preparation, and this keeping track of our time is very essential to not get lost. Maybe I can help you with another video on how to use these apps effectively. I'm having a YouTube channel. Maybe we can discuss about it later. So I also restricted myself from social media to a larger scale. Like I used to talk with so many people. I used to chat with so many people till the completion of my internship. But I gradually reduced it like to 2 or 3 people every day, and it was very difficult task for a person like me. But still, I had to do it. But those 2 to 3 people whom you're talking every day is of very important. Very important. You should be very choosy, and you should be selective on whom you talk. I used to talk with a few of my juniors who are like very enthusiastic, very happy people. They always cherish their life, and having contact with those people and talking to them regularly gives a boost to my life, and it helped me sail through my preparation without any struggles. So I think it is of utmost importance. Yes, Jagan, I'm 14 batch student. So it is of utmost importance to identify such good people, your well-wishers and happy people whom you should always cherish in your life, and keep them around in order to have a positive vibes around you. And we even used to have bets like who is studying the most number of hours every day. During lockdown, my juniors are also free, and they used to study, and they will compete with me. So we used to keep bets like 10 rupees every day. Who is going to study the most number of hours? I used to also invest in e-gold for the number of hours I'm going to study. For example, if I'm studying 10 hours a day, I would invest 100 rupees into that. So all these gaming kind of stuffs help me to keep my preparation lively, and it motivated me, and that is very important since I was all alone locked down in my room. These kind of things like kept me going. More than studying hours, what we do in breaks is going to determine whether you're going to get back into studies after your break, or your break is going to prolong forever. So what you do in break, you need to be predetermined on what is to be done. For example, during the initial few months of my preparation, I used to watch few spiritual videos. I used to watch uh, awareness videos and educational videos on financial self level financial management. And then I used to watch Dr. House MD. And gradually, as months went on, I started watching Marrow videos during my break time. So, like, I used to watch Marrow while I am eating, while I'm jogging, and then, excuse me, I'm getting audio feedback.
That's corrected. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. So I used to watch videos while I'm while I'm eating, while I'm jogging, while I'm simply lying down. All the time of my day would be either I would study notes or do MCQs, or I'll be passively learning by listening to the Marrow videos. So by that way, I was able to give a great boost to my preparation. The transition, real transition, happened there. Earlier, I used to study 6 hours a day with great difficulty. But when I started this habit of keeping on watching media videos, where whatever I do, irrespective of whatever I do, my study hours went drastically to 14 to 15 hours, and that was also a piece of cake for me. Like for studying 6 hours was difficult, but 14 to 15 hours was very easy. Then only I came to know that okay, this is because if I'm studying for 6 hours in a block of 1 hour or 2 hours every time, I need to convince myself, convince the lazy self of mine to sit for studying. I need to get into study mode. I need to convince myself to get into study mode for 3 or 4 times or more than that every single day. And that was not fruitful. But when I kept on studying either actively or passively, it's like I need to convince like once or twice in a day, like a block of 4 hours or block of 5 hours every single day, twice a day, or has was very easy for me rather than taking frequent breaks. So you should not be taking a break just because others are taking a break or just because you are studying for too long. Breaks should be taken once you need it, once you really need it. And I think I learned this in the very later part of life, and realizing that break is not mandatory is going to increase your productivity to a great level. And believe me, there is no perfect time for studying. You need to keep on studying. You need to either study actively or listen or watch videos. And that is, as I said, there is never a perfect time for studying, and it is never late to save a day. Which means that uh, you might have thought that okay, you should cover this topic in the morning, like between 8 to 9 or 8 to 10. I should have studied this topic, and then you would have planned the day well in a very organized way. But due to some unforeseen reasons, your morning schedule might have been broken. You might not have done the morning 8 to 9 session, and that should not be, make you feel that the day is done. You should not feel such a way. uh, Even if it is night 10 p.m., even if it is 11 p.m., you have still 1 hour left to make something out of the day. And I think this mindset is also again very crucial in order to increase your productivity. So by routine during this lockdown, during this last 8 months, 8 to 10 months of my preparation would include 4 to 5 hours of reading notes, and then doing at least 50 to 100 MCQs every day, and then reviewing 50 questions from my previous week grand test, and watching videos of Marrow in the rest of the time. So what I usually do is that I read the notes of a particular topic at the if I'm reading a topic today, I'll first read the notes of the topic. After 2 days or 3 days, I would watch the relevant videos of it, and after 1 week, I'll solve the corresponding MCQ. So by this way, I'm enabling myself a spaced repetition, which means I'm like reviewing the topic at different points of time. Whenever I'm going to forget it, I'm going to revise it, not in the same form of notes or videos, but in other forms like Q banks or seeing pearls like that. So I think it helped me great in an subconscious way to revise things, and it helped me to hold back things in a better way. And and everyone should be aware of the concept called cognitive switching penalty, which is nothing but you might be studying for 10 minutes and then you might use your WhatsApp for 1 or 2 minutes. Though the actual time spent in WhatsApp or in social media is 1 minute, the time taken for the residual memory regarding that WhatsApp status or WhatsApp message to vanish from your mind will be another 10 to 15 minutes. So by this way, the quality of your study is going to get low. So what I started practicing is that I would like see all my messages, all my social media posts once a day. So you might even spend 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day even, but it should be 2 hours straight. No, it's like not 2 hours in between. I mean, not 5 minutes in between your studies. I think that is also very crucial in order to increase your productivity. I'm pretty sure that Marrow is extensive and more than enough. Even covering Marrow from top to bottom is quite impossible for anyone because it's so vast. Be it Marrow, be it any other online platform, you must trust your source. You must have a primary source and believe in it completely. As I have been experimenting by using different sources, different online platforms, I could say for sure that every faculty who's in Marrow as well as in other platforms, they're legends by themselves, and it's not like someone is superior or someone is inferior. So everyone are like very experienced and they have their own knowledge, and we should believe in them. We should have one primary source and follow it strongly, be it Marrow or be it any other thing. And you might use the other apps for recreational purpose, maybe like giving GTs once a while, or watching or solving few MCQs. But we should be conscious that we should not have the have FOMO. FOMO is nothing but fear of missing out. We should not be worried that I might miss out something which is given in this app. I might miss out something which is posted in that group. I might miss out what the teacher said in Marrow links. So that mindset should not be there, because every important update or mistakes which are there in Marrow will be rectified then and there. And by this way, you will be up to date and you not worry about it. And even you should not focus so much on the controversial topics too, because if it is a difficult question for you, it will be difficult for others also. And to be frank, I was in the midway of my first revision when I wrote INICT examination. So even with such a level of preparation, I'm able to get a seat, and it's all because of the quality of content that is being offered by these online platform. And special thanks to Marrow for making it possible. My preparation was not very scheduled or perfectly organized. It is either study or sleep. So I would also never compromise on my sleep. So every waking hour, I try my best. Every waking minute, I try my best to involve in studies either directly or indirectly. And this was very useful to me. Sorry, academic session starts at Ames. Okay, we'll have the discussions later at the end of the session. Just few more minutes, I'll complete my presentation. So as I said, every waking minute we should be. I mean, I was trying my best to focus it on my studies, and I would also recommend everyone to utilize the Marrow Planner. Marrow Planner is nothing but an Excel sheet which contains the subject-wise names of the subject with the number of hours which should be spent to each subject. Like you may manually enter how many hours you have in hand per day, how many days are remaining for you. By this way, Marrow Planner will automatically calculate the number of hours you should be spending to each subject, number of days you should be spending to each subject based on the weightage of marks given for each subject. And as I said earlier, I used to study the notes of a topic first and then watch the related videos, do the related MCQs thereafter. I usually watched videos in 2x speed. Initially, it was quite a challenge. I started with 1x, 1.2, 1.5, and gradually I went to up to 2. So it is quite easy, and you will get so habituated to it that you will start watching videos in YouTube, random videos in YouTube also in 2x speed. So you might start with 1.5x at least and keep watching. So when I am with full focus, I would watch videos in 2x. But if I am bored or so tired of watching videos, I won't stop the video. But instead, I would decrease the speed of my video from 2x to 1.5x or 1x. So my breaks would be reducing the speed of video, but not stopping the video. And initially, I started watching all the videos of a particular subject. But as time went on, I realized that it is quite a challenge to complete all these videos within the stipulated time. So I just started watching random videos, and even that helped so much in my preparation. And believe me, Marrow videos are very, very addictive. It gives you high yield information in such an easier way. And but I made sure, though I skipped few videos, I made sure that I was thorough in my notes. I went through the notes completely. And towards the end of the preparation, like when INICT was approaching, Marrow released revision video, MCQ videos, revision videos, and image-based question videos. And those were of so much yield to me, and it helped me to revise things in a quicker fashion and also in a passive way. Coming to notes, I neither do have a good handwriting or nor do I have the patience to take down notes. So I ordered notes from Marrow, and it is one of the good decisions I have made. Uh, it's like Marrow notes are very good, and handwriting is very good in notes, and we'll be able to get images also in notes, which is not possible if we are taking our handwritten notes. And I used to underline the notes using different colors. Like I generally use five colored stick pens, and then underline it according to the importance so that I can revise it on the future date according to the availability of time I have. For example, I would revise the things marked in red color alone when I have a very limited time, or I revise two or three colors when I have quite sufficient time. So like that, you should form your own way of using the colored pens, and underline it according to the weightage, what you feel is more important. And then, though I was aware of the concept of 20th notebook, which is nothing but a note which is used for jotting down all the important points in your 19 subjects, I did not make use of it. Again, thanks to my poor handwriting. What I used to do is that I used to mark the page numbers in front of that particular subject notebook. So by that way, I was able to revise what is important. At the same time, I had the unfair advantage of photographic memory. So if I'm saying seeing a table, instead of jotting down in the 20th notebook, if I'm going to review it again in the same page in the same notebook, I would be able to get that visual memory. Like I would have underlined it, I would have highlighted it, and that is very useful for me. And I asked, and I didn't, as I said, don't spend too much on the controversial topics. If it is difficult for you, it's going to be difficult for everyone else. And coming to the most crucial part of the preparation is the MCQs. So as I said, a minimum of 50 to 100 MCQs is at most essential for at least 6 to 8 months. So I was able to complete 18,000 MCQs at the end of 6 months. And initially, I thought that MCQs are very extensive and it's like very boring. When will we finish this MCQs? But once I was done with all the MCQs, then I started realizing that my preparation was lagging. Okay, that is because once we stop doing MCQs, we lose that skill. We lose the time sense of doing the MCQs. And MCQs definitely involves active process, active learning. It's an active learning process. And thanks to the user interface and super cool graphics of Marrow, which made these MCQ solving a very good thing. So even though you complete all the MCQs, it is essential to keep on doing MCQs every single day. Like you can make use of the custom modules, which is such an excellent tool to enhance your revision. There are so much options available in custom modules, and you should definitely explore it, even though you are a beginner. And there are three types of bookmarking tools available in Marrow, and these bookmarking tools can be used according to your own convenience, like things which you have already reviewed or to be reviewed or the star topics. All these you can frame your own way of bookmarking things. And these custom modules will help you to selectively focus on weaker topics. As a community medicine postgraduate now, we used to say that randomization is the heart of clinical trial. Similarly, randomization is also essential in PG preparation. You should not be too streamlined and focused in a method. Your preparation should not be so methodical. It should be a mix of multiple things. I could remember Rakesh Naik sir saying this. It's like you should study a different. You should study the uh, epidemiology of a particular disease. You should study the treatment of a different disease. You should study the diagnosis of a different disease. Like that, you should mix and match. By this way, it will anchor to your memory in a very good way. And we all know that giving GTs is of utmost importance. But I'm not a person who's like so much confident in giving GTs, at least for the first 3 months. So I was afraid that I might lose track of my preparation. I might lose my confidence, and I might not continue studying if I do my GTs and get my ranks poor. So I started giving GTs after 3 months, and after then only I realized that rank is the least important parameter. Marks are the least important parameter when it comes to GT. Again, it is all about improving your time sense. It helps you to enhance your speed of decision making. Like you have roughly 30 to 45 seconds for solving an MCQ, and I used to spend 6 to 7 minutes for every 10 MCQs. So like that, these time sense, this decision making thing, all these comes once we practice. And as many toppers have previously advised in Marrow videos and in other platforms, it is essential to simulate the exam settings as close as possible. So I used to wear formals. I used to wear a mask. I used to be perfectly ready for my examination. And I even bought a new wireless mouse. And I always give exams in laptop. It is very essential. You should never give exams in your mobile phone, at least the grand test, because it is every second counts. And if you are not habituated to wired mouse or using a PC, it might consume few seconds or few minutes of your time in the exam, and it is definitely going to be detrimental. So, first of all, and one more important thing is that we should not compare our performance with others. Many of my friends were performing better than me in grand test. Many of my friends are performing less than me in grand test, and we should not be comparing these things because everyone has their own situations. They have their own pace of preparation, and this comparison does not mean anything. The true comparison is that we should be superior to whom we were yesterday. That is more important. Every single day you should keep on developing, and you should be better than yesterday. And one more concept which was very useful to me is spaced repetition. Spaced repetition, as I said earlier, is like repeating previously read topics at particular intervals. So I also made use of workbooks. Like I used Google Sheets to create a workbook where I highlighted the topics I have covered, which are like how much based on the difficulty level. So that's a I could make it as a separate video also. It's quite a long topic, so I'll make it as a separate video. And one more thing I would like to emphasize again is that since every one of you is either doing MBBS or completed MBBS, you are never an average student. If you are an average student, you are you cannot be here. So everyone is an excellent academician. Everyone is a topper. And if you are, as I said, if you are a mediocre student, you would have never cleared MBBS or never be doing MBBS. Getting into MBBS itself is such a big achievement, and it cannot be done by all. And even with MBBS, you'll be able to have a very good lifestyle. Your you'll be able to have financial freedom, good respect in the society, and you should have this mindset that if I'm not doing my post graduation, I'm fit for nothing. No, it's absolutely wrong. And you should not also think that once I get my PG, my life is settled. It's not true either. It is not about the end result. Your happiness should not be focused on whether you get a PG seat or not, whether you clear an examination or not. It's about the process. So you should enjoy the process. So for the past 8 to 10 months, I was not oriented on results so much. I just enjoyed the process of PG preparation. I would definitely say it is the best part of my life because I was learning so many things. I was having so much fun. I was able to sleep at time, and it was very, very good. And if I had not got seat in AIMS now, I would have focused on NEET PG 2021. If not INICET of the next session, or else NEET PG of 2022. I would not be worried or succumb to the pressure or the peer pressure, and I would have not felt bad at all. So I think that is more important. Not getting PG seat in the first attempt or the second attempt doesn't mean that you are not an achiever. See, wherever you go in life, you will have someone above you you will have someone who is superior to you. It is about your happiness. It is about your life, and it's about your satisfaction. I think we should always keep this at the back of the mind. So I think I have touched upon major things from my preparation. And in case if you would like to connect with me, you can find me on Facebook, Insta, and YouTube in the same name, Dr. Venkatesh Karthikeyan. And me being not such an extraordinary student, when I'm able to get into AIMS, every single person watching this video can. So I'm ready to take any questions from you. It's again subjective. You should not be too strict on yourself. For some days, like especially after INICET, I was not able to study itself. It's like studying 10 pages a day was a great deal for me. Before INICET, I used to study like 100 to 200 pages every day. But after INICET, revising already read 10 pages was a difficult task for me. So by that time, I diverted myself by focusing on videos. Similarly, you might find it difficult to watch videos constantly or study notes constantly. So you might shift between these according to your convenience, but all you need to see is that you do something related to your PG preparation. So that is more important. Uh, on an average, I would study 4 to 5 hours notes, and then 2 to 3 hours at least for MCQs, and the remaining 2 to 3 hours for watching videos. And it's again subjective. Whatever you do, it is going to contribute to your studies. So just don't try to do something apart from PG preparation. We go for the next question. Manage last few days of your preparation. Shashank, yes, thanks for the question, Shashank. Last few days of my preparation was a great challenge for me. Like the 1 week before INICET, I was very much upset with myself because the number of hours I spent in studying was like less when compared to the normal days. So it's obviously because of the stress, and more importantly, I tried to alter my sleep cycle. I watched the YouTube videos of toppers and all these strategists, and they always say that 1 week before exam you should normalize your sleep cycle. And I wasted a lot of time in normalizing my sleep cycle. That was one of the greatest mistake I did. So everyone is different. For me, if I had continued in my own pace, it would have been more easier for me. See, my routine would be like some days I would feel like studying till 4 a.m., 5 a.m., or even 8 a.m. without sleeping. Some days I'll fall asleep earlier. So I just left it to the convenience of my own circadian rhythm. Whenever I feel like sleeping, I sleep. I never interrupt in my circadian rhythm. So I think by that way, you can make your PG preparation more comfortable, and you should also tell it clearly to your friends. And if you are in a relationship, you should tell to your partner, you should tell to your parents that you should not be disturbed for the next few months, because this is one of the most important things in life. See, I got very great offers from like lifetime opportunities in the past 8 months, but I turned down every single of them. And yes, definitely it is worth it. So you should stay away from everything, even if you are uh, offered such a huge offer in your life. You should learn to turn it down during this PG preparation. Last few days of preparation, we should, as I said, you should either have the 20th notebook, or you should note down the important pages in each. You should note down important pages in each of the in front of each notebook. So by that way, you'll be having a source, like a limited source, which is of high yield and which is difficult to you. So you should focus on those things during the last week. And you can, if you're not feeling like studying, if you're like depressed, or if you're like too stressed, you can start watching the MCQ discussion videos, or the revision videos. Yes, and then Venkatesh, thank you, brother. Pradeep Kumar, sir, after clearing INICET, can we appear for NEET? Yes, you can appear for NEET, especially the mid INICET sessions will be coming closer to NEET, so that you can attend both the exams, and taking the seat of your choice can be made based on your ranks in both things. But once you're appearing for this November exams, it will not be of much value, because you should have joined a college before appearing NEET of the corresponding year. Congrats, sir. If you're having next in 2022 means, do we still have INICT, sir? See, no one actually knows the answer, and it is too early to comment on this. We should wait for the announcements from the government rather than speculating on it. Vaishnavi, good evening, sir. Excellent one. Thank you. How did you differentiate your NEET and INICT preparation methods? Yes, that's a wonderful question. I always wondered about it. See, to be frank, there is no such clear demarcation between INICT preparation and NEET preparation. It's almost the same. One thing which could make a difference is the previous year question papers. So if you are too keen on AIMS or PGI or JIPMER, you could have focused more on the previous year question papers of the corresponding institute. So I forgot to mention one of the most essential thing in order to clear these entrance examination is the previous year question papers. And yes, Maro has done an excellent job in compiling all these year-wise and subject-wise. So if we are going through these questions 3 or 4 times for examination, and reading the concepts, explanations clearly, it will definitely be very helpful. Sir, after INICET, can we repeat for NEET again? Yes, you can repeat. You can appear, especially if you don't get the branch of your choice. You could definitely appear, but you need to pay the penalties for leaving the seats which you have already taken. How did you manage your PG preparation during internship? Yes, that's a very good question. So I got a rank of 45,000 in NEET PG 2020. I was not preparing. I didn't even touch my book during internship, because I know that if I am preparing throughout my internship, I would be able to get a good seat, but not an excellent seat, not the seat of my choice. So I thought, okay, let's do all the other activities during internship. Let's explore the outside world. Let's build a CV during our internship, and focus ourselves entirely on PG preparation after internship. So I did not spend so much time on my preparation during internship, but again, it is an individual choice. So I had few other commitments which made me drift away from my preparation. But if you are so much committed to your PG preparation, you can definitely do it, and it is definitely manageable. Uh, I could remember Rakesh Nayak sir mentioning in a video that the statistic shows that those who are prepared for 8 months or 1 year, they have the highest chance of getting a PG seat, followed by those who are preparing during internship, and followed by the third priority is those who prepare for more than 1 year. So many toppers in the recent years are from internship batch. So it is definitely doable in internship. And if I were an intern and if I need to prepare, I would definitely go with any one of these online platforms, because they give the ultimate luxury of preparing at your own pace. So next question, Jagan Pranesh, opportunities. Okay, so it's like I got many opportunities in IMA. I'm already in the state general secretary for IMA Junior Doctors Network. I had many commitments and opportunities through IMA, and then I even got a chance to give an interview in BBC. So many such opportunities were there, but I turned down. I was very determined that I should turn down whatever offer I get. How much attractive how it is, because I will definitely get those opportunities in the future. Even if I don't get, it is not going to make much of a difference in life. So we need to have the clear distinctions before preparing for PG. I would explore every single opportunity, but once I entered into preparation mode, I gave up all the opportunities. So you need to have the clear distinction. Okay. Next, what made you choose community medicine? Okay, it's a very interesting question, most expected question. See, community medicine gives us a luxury of titrating our lifestyle according to our own needs. So, if I wish, I could become an epidemiologist. I could become a faculty in a medical college. I could become a statistician. I could become a researcher. I can get into ICMR. I can become a scientist. I can get into WHO or UNESCO or any international organizations for that matter. I can start my own NGO. I can have my clinical practice too. Since I'm doing in AIMS Patna, I'll be having training in family medicine too. So my degree is community and family medicine. So I'm free to practice. So if I wish, I could practice every day evening. And family medicine is gaining scope nowadays, especially in countries like United Kingdom. So you have a wide range of scope for community medicine, and though I'm just very new to this branch, it is very unfair to comment or talk great of community medicine at this point of time. But as far as I have observed, I have talked with so many postgraduates in community medicine before joining. I have talked with faculties. I have talked with WHO consultants before making this decision. Apart from that, I am such a kind of person like who loved Park just like anything. I could easily say that Park is one of the best things that I've ever offered, that has ever happened to me. So, community medicine is not everyone's cup of tea. So everyone is different, and I thought I would be able to lead a happier life, peaceful life with a good work-life balance and the ability to make change on a bigger way in the community using community medicine with the community medicine degree. So I chose community medicine. Next question is, how do you prepare in your OBG or medicine or surgery postings? Okay. Uh, Coming to my preparation in final year, I mean, my preparations were okay. My preparations, I used to study every single day, right from my first year till end of my final year. Whatever it is, I used to study 4 hours straight. I used to go to my reading room, college reading room. I'll be there from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Whatever commitments I have, even though I have nothing to study, I'll just simply go and sit there. It's because of the habit that we create. It's because of the atmosphere. At least by seeing others studying, you'll be able to study. So I studied every single day, majority of times, and my focus was coming to practicals. My focus was mainly on reading the proformas first. So I collected the proformas from all my seniors and all my faculties, and I mastered my proformas first. Following which, I had chosen very good books for practical purpose, and I could explain it to you or later. The books I followed, the method I practiced. Since this is related to PG preparation, we could restrict ourselves. And if you're asking what a student of second year or third year or final year should do for how was INECT? Okay, I'll answer this later. So, what a student of second year or third year or fourth year should do who is watching this video? See, if I were you, I would not focus. I would not think too much about my PG. What I would rather think is that I would like to master the subject as much as I can. Like if I am in third year, my focus would be mostly on ENT after and SPM. So if you are I would focus only on my textbooks, and if you are more interested, you could definitely subscribe to any of the online platforms and watch videos during your break times. See, watch videos as your break time thing, not your primary thing, because studying reading is your primary thing. Videos are just a passive form of learning, and you should have the mindset that it's a passive learning and it should be done in break time. When your break time is going to be filled like this, it is going to the knowledge you're going to gain is will be accumulating in a larger way. For example, one of my faculties, Dr. Kadirilagan Sir, who is an orthopedician, he actually during his PG preparation, he used to jog every single day and used to listen to recorded videos, like recorded audios of his PG preparation classes. So what he did inspired me. Once he told this, I was so awestruck by his words, and I started following the same. And over the span of 8 months, the every day 1 hour I'd be jogging and listening to this Marrow videos, and this accumulated over 8 months, and it became like 8 into 3, 250 hours of extra preparation, which added in a greater way. Similarly, while eating, also I used to watch videos. So your preparation should be fully focused on the study materials available, diverse study materials available to you. So you should currently focus on the subjects which is of your academic year, like ENT, Optal, or SPM, and then watch videos whenever you're free. Despite that, if you are more interested, you could solve the MCQs. But I won't strongly recommend solving MCQs at this point of life. You could keep MCQs as a reserve for your final preparation. But still, against solving MCQs would help you to get a new perception about how questions are asked, from what angle we should approach the subject. So this is more important. And despite that, if you feel you have much more time, then you can prepare on either the upcoming year subjects or the previous year subjects. Okay, go for the next question. Okay. INICET 2020, what would I be focusing on INICET 2021? Yes, Vaishnavi. INICET 2020 was like, it was neither difficult nor easy for me. It was just another grand test for me. So I didn't expect a seat for my level of preparation. So I just gave the examination, and I just thought, okay, if it is easy, it will be easy for everyone. If it is difficult, it will be difficult for everyone. So we never know what will be our rank unless it is published. So we can't really comment about it unless you are like an extreme topper. What should I be focusing on for INICET 2021? Yes, as I said earlier, your prime focus should be mainly on the previous year question paper, especially that of AIMS and PGI, PGI JITMAR. And you should focus more on your notes, since we have like at least 4 months for your INICET 2021. You should focus on your notes more, and then MCQs followed by your videos. Lubna Zahi, how did you overcome self-doubt during your preparation phase? Okay. So self-doubt would be every day. Yes, thanks for asking this question. I used to watch topper videos, strategy videos, and many such motivational videos on an everyday basis. So every single day, I used to spend at least 30 minutes to 1 hour for watching these kind of videos. And believe me, this is very important. So you need to keep on seeing how other toppers perform, how your seniors perform, and this will help you to develop a mindset of a winner. It will help you to think that it is possible. I myself would not believe. I mean, what to say? I even did not think that I would get into this institute or be doing this course. But it is important. You see, you do your work. That is alone in your hand. You focus on the process. You focus on your preparation and leave the rest to itself. If you get the seat or if you don't get the seat, whatever it is, just have the thought that everything is for good, and things will come to your favor in at the correct time. And then, what did you do to maintain the consistency in your preparation? Yes, I used to make a note of all the tasks I should do every day in Google Keep. I used to print it out and have a checklist and tick it every day, so that I could monitor the number of hours I have spent every day for studying, number of hours I have spent in WhatsApp or Facebook. And I used to monitor how many pages I study every day, how many modules I solve every day. So all these parameters I watch, so that I would be able to keep a track of what I'm doing and avoid myself from being lost. Yes. Sanjay Tukaram, why didn't you attend NEET PG 2021? Asking, since you said that you didn't even complete your first division. Yes, thank you, Sanjay. My focus was community medicine. My dream seat was community medicine. Since I've gotten a very good institute, appearing for NEET PG 2021 is no more a necessity for me. And even if I had appeared in NEET PG 2021, I would take community medicine. So it's like it does not serve any purpose to attend NEET PG 2021. Yes. Jagan Prakash, Pradeep Kumar is schooling in college in Infosys. S. Pradeep Kumar. I did my schooling in from LKG to 5th standard. I did my schooling in Chinmaya Vidyalaya, Salem, and then from 6th to 12, I did in St. John's Matriculation High Secondary School, Salem, which is in Tamil Nadu. And college, I'm from Velamal Medical College Hospital in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. Though this is a new institute, like some 8 or 9 years old, it is such an excellent institute, and the management, be it from our chairman, dean, medical superintendent, our faculties like Dr. Ramesh sir, Dr. Sendil sir, like everyone were very supportive. And to quote about Dr. Ramesh sir, he's a general physician by himself, and and Dr. Sendil Murugan sir too. Both of them are general physicians, but still they are the ones who made me to take community medicine. So they helped me to develop my love towards PAR. They helped me to develop my love towards community medicine. And while I was thinking about taking community medicine seat, I was afraid to say it to them, but they like motivated me, like this is the best thing for you. Not one shoe fits everyone. So they are the main reasons why I chose community medicine. Though they are not from community medicine background, they helped me to take community medicine. Also, I'd like to acknowledge all my seniors like Dr. Shiv Joshi sir, Dr. Manish sir, or those people are like doing community medicine. I've just finished community medicine, and they were very helpful to me. Though they do not belong to my college, they are from different parts of the country. They had motivated me and guided me in taking this subject. QBank themselves are extensive. Yes, Medico QBanks themselves are very extensive, and sometimes it might drag down your level of preparation. So what you should do is that you should have a specific time, like 2 minutes for a question or 1 minute for a question while preparing in normal mode. For example, if you're doing a module of 20 questions, then you should be able to do it in 30 minutes at least, and you should not prolong belong more than that. And if you think it is dragging too much, you should focus on the highlighted words, the bold words which are given in the explanation. You should definitely read the explanation, but if you feel too lazy or if you are finding it difficult to go through the entire explanation, at least be sure you read the highlighted points in the explanation. That will be of much help to you. And then Ajay Kumar, how you keep motivated, sir, and how you balance both enjoyful on one side and study on other side? Yes, basically I'm a happy person. So whatever happens, whatever bad happens, I have the what to say? I have the mindset that okay, everything is for good. Everything is a learning experience. So and I don't take things much seriously because I see a good thing. I see an advantage even in bad things that is happening to me. So that helps me keep joyful and balance between studies. As I said earlier, till the completion of my internship, I did not focus much on my PG preparation, and I completely drifted away from all the distractions once I entered my preparation phase. So balancing would be difficult in the beginning, but you should practice. You should actively invest upon it in order to achieve that skill. It is definitely doable for any single person. I might feel free
Uh,
to ask if you have any questions.
so if that's all, we'll wind up.
Okay, so fine then. I'm very much thankful for Team Marrow once again to Sukandan brother, Naveen brother, Arjun brother, Vignesh brother, my juniors, Dr. Swarna, Dr. Vaishnavi, Dr. Sanjay, Dr. Harini, everyone. Thank you so much. You have been so much supportive, for whose contribution made me to be in the position where I am. I would definitely say that what I have done all through in my life, including this seat in PG, is not because of me. It's because of God's grace. It's because of the it's a cumulative thing of all the efforts which is being invested on me by my parents, by my faculties, by my friends, juniors, everyone. And when an ordinary person, ordinary student like me can get into AIMS, any single person can. Any single person can. This is what I would like to emphasize. You are not ordinary student. You are a doctor, and you can definitely do it. All the very best. Thank you so much.